So then it is that time again. It is quite a way through the season now, so I'm a bit late to this, but a new season brings, of course, a new set of kits. And in today's video, like we always do, we will be ranking every one of the 24 League One teams' home kits from the 23-24 season. I must say before I get into the ranking, as always, that this ranking is purely based upon my opinion on their shirt. It's not a dig at the club, the fans, the players, etc. It is solely based on their kits. As always, comment down below your thoughts on your team's kits, and if there's anything you'd change from my rankings, let me know. Anyway, enough of the talk, let's get into the rankings. So usually we do these rankings based upon alphabetical order for the teams, but today we're going to mix it up and we're going to do it in a random order. As always, as you can see, we do have the 5 usual categories, and we'll be ranking each kit individually through those 5. So starting off then with Charlton Athletic, it does look quite slick this year. I do like it, but there's very little to it. I am going to put it in decent. I think it's simplistic, there's not a lot going on. I like the trim on the neck and the arms. It does the job for me. Next up then is Cambridge United, and I've seen a lot of people saying that they love this kit. I can kind of understand why. I think the pattern on the arms and the shoulders, some people will like it, some people will hate it. Unfortunately, I'm not a fan. Obviously, it's a pretty standard home shirt for Cambridge. They have had some absolute belters in previous years, but unfortunately, this is not one of those. The sponsor takes up too much of the shirt. I'm not a fan. It is going in the second bottom category. Moving on then to Carlisle United, of course, newly promoted from League 2 last season. Now, I believe that this shirt is inspired by their 1993-95 season home shirts. I'll be honest, it does look like a bit of a bus seat or a London Underground seat. I can't lie. I can see why people would like it, and I've seen a lot of rankings of this so far. The colours, I think they work well. The sponsor, I'm not too sure on. I'm really sorry. I know this is going to be a controversial one, but it's just not for me. And the worst bit is their away kit is even more extravagant, so I'll have to make my mind up on that one for that ranking. Next up then is Northampton. Once again, a very simple but effective shirt. The usual colours of Northampton Town. White trim on the neck and the arms. Of course, sponsor University of Northampton. Doesn't take up too much of the shirt. Works nicely with the white pinstripes. It's very simple, and I do like it. Is it enough to go in decent? I'm not too sure. Maybe could have done a bit more with it. I'm going to put it in average. Moving on then to my team, Cheltenham. Now, bias aside, I do absolutely love this shirt, but there is one pet peeve I have about it, and that is that the silvery grey pinstripes, which by the way look unreal, don't stop around the Myra Shower sponsor. Sponsor works well. I love the colour scheme. Obviously, we are traditionally red and white. You could say that this kit is still red and white, but it looks more silvery grey to me. I just love this shirt. It's a dark red. It's nice. I love the collar on it. It works well. Simple but effective. But the pinstripes just don't stop around the sponsor. They run through it, and that is the one thing that really annoys me about it, and that is the only thing that stops it from going into top class. Moving on then to League 2 title winners, Leyton Orient. Yeah. I don't really think I need to say anything about this, to be honest. Leyton Orient have had some absolute bangers in recent years. They always seem to. This year, no. Moving on then to Blackpool. And another team that in recent years has had some absolute poppers for their home shirts. This is not one. It is so average. I do like the colours. Obviously, the traditional tangerine of Blackpool. The sponsor, I guess, is okay. Obviously, it's a gambling sponsor, which isn't great. But it's just an okay shirt. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing good about it. It's just going an average. Moving on then to Burton Albion. Now, in recent years, I haven't been a massive fan of their home shirts. I'm still not a massive fan of this one, but there's nothing wrong with it. I like the black on the shoulders. The sponsor, once again, works okay. The light pattern on the yellow, the lines, I don't mind it. You know, it passes with me, I don't mind. Yeah, if I was a Bolton fan, I'd be pretty happy with that shirt. But again, I don't think it's as good as Charlton and Cheltenham's. So it's another one in average. Moving on then to what might be a controversial one. Reading. Now, my one small issue with this is the Select Car Leasing sponsor is absolutely huge. It takes up way too much of the shirt. However, it is an absolute beauty. I love the fact that on the stripes they've got, you know, some of the buildings of the city. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Of course, the colour scheme of red in the blue and white. I think Macron have absolutely pulled one out of the bag here. It looks absolutely quality. A lot of times when clubs use inspiration from their towns or cities, it kind of goes a bit wrong, especially if they use a map or whatever. It can look a bit silly. This, not at all. I think it works really well. Not too much going on, but a lot there to look at, and it's pleasing on the eye to me. Top class shirt. But the sponsor, the sponsor's the only thing that stops it from having a tier of its own at the top, in my opinion. Moving on then to Shrewsbury Town. Now, I'm a Cheltenham fan, and they took everything from us in summer, so I just know, commenting on Shrewsbury, there's bound to be some comments about it. But this shirt is so average, isn't it? I mean, I'm not a fan of the collar, the amber collar. Not a massive fan there. I do like the trim on the bottom of the arms, but other than that, there's nothing really to write home about. I mean, it could have done with a bit more pattern, maybe. It is just incredibly average. Oxford United, and this one absolutely oozes class to me. Only thing is the sponsor is a bit big. Again, the pinstripes do run through it, but I think, if I'm honest, I think it looks more effective than it does on our shirt. It's very similar to our shirt, actually, just different colours. Theirs has got a trim on the arms and the neck. There isn't a collar, but I think, our shirt is the only shirt ever which I think I've actually liked the collar on. There's nothing really more to say. Traditional colours of Oxford United, doing fantastic in the league under Liam Manning, by the way. Will that continue? Only time will tell on that one. But with regards to the kit, that is also absolutely top class. Next up then, Fleetwood Town. Now, Puma, this is another shirt where it's got one of those patterns where you love it or you hate it. Or with the colours, it works really well, or it just doesn't. And unfortunately for me, it doesn't. It's got blocky, white arms. The pattern is not great. The sponsor is quite big. I think Fleetwood have a fantastic away kit, by the way, so stay tuned for the away kit ranking. Comment down below if you do want to see that, by the way, I forgot to say. But this kit is not for me. I don't think it's bad enough to put in the bottom category. I think that would be really unfair. But it's just not for me at all. Moving on up then to Bolton. Now, I feel like I should put this in average. It is a typical Bolton shirt. But every season they seem to release a very similar shirt. And I always like it. I just absolutely always like it. They've got a better sponsor this year than they did last year, which is a big positive. I do like the little line stitching on the arms and the shoulders. I do like that. The trim around the neck and the arms is very nice. I think the colour use is nice. Obviously, it's just plain white kit really, other than the trim. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to put it in decent, but really it should be an average. Moving on then to Pompey. Now, they've been very unlucky in recent years when it comes to having Nike as their kit maker, because obviously Pompey, fantastic club, historical club, and Nike have given them the template treatment. They've had some really boring templates in recent years. And this shirt, when they were releasing their shirts, I thought, here we go, it's going to be another template. This is absolutely beautiful. Now, the pattern is quite a lot to look at. It is interesting, but it's simple. I like it. Sponsor works well. I like the white trim on the arms and the neck. I'm talking a lot about trims today, but I do think they look effective. Not a lot more needs to be said for me. This could be another controversial one, but top class. Bristol Rovers, of course, Joey Barton's side. Be interesting to see where they do finish in the league this season. A bit up and down at the moment. Can they find consistency? Who knows? Their shirt is nice. I like it. But it is absolutely the same as it always is. Pretty much anyway. There's another team that is literally the same as it always is here. But actually, you know what? I like it. I'm going to put it in the tier above. I'll feel bad if I don't. Exeter City, their first season with Adidas as their kit maker. It is a bit of a template. It does look decent, but it's a bit of a template. I'm not a fan of the sponsor. It's okay. It's going an average. Next up then, we do have Wycombe Wanderers. Have a guess. Have a guess what I'm going to say. Wild guess. Get your comments in now as to what you think I want to say. I'll give you 3 seconds. It's the same as every other year. It looks absolutely beautiful. Hummel, once again, an unreal kit that they've made. And I'd love to put it in top class, but I have to knock it down a category. Purely because when have Wycombe released a kit that looks any different? Don't get me wrong. Don't fix something if it isn't broken. This looks beautiful. Why change it? But, excite the fans a bit more, lads. Do you know what I mean? I love it, but it's just the same. Come on, Hamill, give us something different next year. Moving on then to Port Vale, and it is rugby shirt number 2. It does not look like it should be worn on a football pitch. It doesn't look bad. I don't dislike it. It just does look like a rugby shirt. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I like the colours. The sponsor is a bit questionable, but I mean, they've had that sponsor for several years now. I do quite like the trim on the neck and the arms. I don't think it screams class. We're going in average. Moving on then to Derby County, and this is another one where it looks alright. Don't know what's going on with the shoulders. The sponsor is quite big, but it's not a bad sponsor. They had better kits last season, I'm not going to lie, Derby. Actually, their away kit is quite good. But this one, average again. Moving on then to Barnsley. I'm not going to lie, I'm not sure about this one. I'm joking. It's horrendous. Not a lot more needs to be said. Also, Barnsley fans, I'm very sorry for butchering your accent. Please don't give me pelters for that. Moving on then to Peterborough United. Now, I do actually really like this shirt, but it's just so average, isn't it? I love a centralised badge, and you know when it works, and in this case it does. Maybe you could have done a bit more on the shirt. The thing that knocks it down and marks me is the fact that the Mick George sponsor, which it always seems to be for Peterborough, is absolutely huge. It would go in decent, but I think, yeah, just maybe could have made it a bit smaller, done a bit more with the design of the shirt itself. I don't know. Moving on then to newly promoted side Stevenage. Steve Evans' side doing absolutely brilliantly at the moment, but unfortunately, this kit is not great. I don't really know what to say about it. I mean, there's a massive griller in the middle, which is a bit strange. The pattern is, I mean, I don't know what it's meant to be. It looks a bit like a shirt that you'd wear to the darts. I'm not going to lie, it does look like a shirt that a dart player would wear. Is it average? I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it, to be honest. I put it in meh. Up next then is Lincoln City, and this is the third one that I do think looks like a rugby shirt. Maybe it's because it's made by Oxen, and I know that they make a couple of rugby clubs shirts. I don't know, maybe that's it. It's the same old Lincoln shirt, isn't it? Blocky red and white lines. I don't know about the sponsor. Once again, it's green. It doesn't really work with the shirt. And then the shoulders. I don't know what's going on with the shoulders. I didn't realise that they had that until I went to Lincoln away. I'm not a massive fan. I feel like I'm a bit of a negative Nancy in this video, but it's just not for me. Finally, then moving on to Wigan Athletic. Now, it's very plain. They do have some form of pattern in the blue stripes on this one. I mean, I maybe on another day I'd put it below this, but I'll put it in average. I just think it's okay. But that does conclude my rankings of all 24 English Football League 1 home kits for the 2023-24 season. Let me know what you changed from this ranking. I think it's pretty accurate, actually, from my opinion. I did record this before, and I had to re-record it because I thought some of my opinions were a bit dodgy there. And over time, a few of these kits have grown on me, it's fair to say. But that does conclude today's video. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, please do smash like and subscribe. Comment down below if you do want to see the League 1 away kits ranked. Hopefully that'll be out in the near future. But yeah, have a class rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.